What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we've got a very interesting video here today. We are going to be ranking UFC fighters on a tier list based on what crime I suspect they have done. That's right, I'm probably gonna get taken off YouTube for this video or get sued for fucking defamation or some shit like that. But we're going to see how it goes. We're going to have some fun with it. Disclaimer, these are obviously all jokes. I'm not saying these fighters have committed crimes or committed these crimes, and just suspecting, just reading between the lines. But we've got 5 tiers, or 6 tiers. We've got hate crimes, drug/alcohol related, robbery, domestic abuse, assault, and then 1 tier up the top, and I guess you guys can guess for yourselves who that's going to be. But let's get started with the first fighter. We've got Sha Strickland. I'm going to put him in assault. I would take a wild guess and suspect that Mr. Strickland has probably committed a few assaults in his time. I think he's pretty much said as much. He's probably committed a few other crimes here and there, but if I was going to have to guess one, or the major crime that Mr. Strickland would have gotten in trouble, with the law for, I would say assaults, Recently jumped over a fence and tried to punch DDP in the face at UFC 296 before their fight. Like, this guy just seems a little bit unhinged, a little bit unstable, and if someone pisses him off in public, he's definitely just punching him in the face. So that's my prediction for Sha Strickland. I think he's definitely, committed a few assaults here and there. But again, this isn't defamation. He's basically said as much. So I'm not spreading false rumors. It's just rumors. But we're going to move on to the next fighter. Jamal Hill. I'm going to put him in domestic abuse. It's, again, not defamation. He got arrested for abuse of his, for hitting his brother or some shit, and the charge was under domestic abuse. So there's nothing crazy going on here. I'm not spreading any false information. I just do think Jamal Hill seems like a very aggressive person. He's come back from a long day of dealing with trolls on Twitter. He's spending 2 hours a day responding to them, retweeting at all of them every single time. He's got to make his 10-minute YouTube video every time someone questions his pound for pound legacy, and it's exhausting. So I reckon he comes home, he's a bit agitated, a bit annoyed at the end of the day, and just lets some hands fly. That would be my prediction with Jamal Hill, but I'm not too sure. That's just my guess. But we're going to move on to the next fighter. Derrick Lewis. I'm going to chuck him in robbery. There's no reason behind this in terms of how he looks or his race or anything like that. Of course, I don't know, Derrick Lewis just seems like something, I feel like he's probably robbed a couple stores in his day. Back when he was younger, I reckon robbed a few stores. He was arrested a couple months ago for speeding or some shit like that, but I couldn't be fucked putting speeding in him. That's dead as hell. If speeding's the worst crime you've committed, then you're a pussy. You gotta commit a few more crimes, my friend. But I reckon Derrick Lewis has probably robbed a couple stores here and there. I don't think that's crazy to say. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next fighter. Lauren Murphy. She's going straight to drug and alcohol related crimes. It's pretty self-explanatory. Look at her. She looks like she's grown up her entire childhood doing meth and crack. I'm surprised, she was definitely been arrested. Her and Jared Gordon, who will be featured, of course, later in the video, have definitely both, she's been arrested around, probably behind the laneway or some shit, just doing meth, doing crack, just cops come around or something. Probably one of those houses where, her family's just doing meth or something. I don't know where I'm going in this, but Lauren Murphy definitely done some heroin in her day. But we're going to move on to the next fighter. Manel Cap, the based one himself. He's going in hate crimes. I reckon this guy, has definitely let some words fly. We've seen that already. And I reckon maybe he probably hasn't been arrested for it, but he might have, gotten in a little bit of trouble, had to apologize, all that kind of thing. But yeah, maybe he's, just thrown some hands outside a club or something, or a bar, just because, he didn't like the way someone looked, or, he went down to the gay bar or the gay club on purpose and just started KOing blokes out the front. I don't know, it just seems like something Manel Cap would do. Just doesn't seem like he's a big fan of those individuals, in my opinion. But we're going to move on to the next fighter. Sharav Magomedov. He's going in assault. He's done assault. He's assaulted people. It's on record. He literally got arrested, or he fucking stomped some bloke's head outside, in a mall, because he saw people, a couple holding hands or something, or they kissed in public, and then because he's a strict alhamdulillah, he's one of those guys, one of the alhamdulillah, inshallah brothers. Like, he's one of them ones, and so he didn't like that, and so he, like, confronted the guy. They fought, and then the guy actually, like, landed a few shots on him, and he wasn't too happy about that, so he came out the back and just fucking sucker punched him and KO'd him. So Sharav Magomedov, definitely a bit of a questionable bloke. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next fighter. Jon Jones, he's going in domestic abuse, of course. He could probably go in all of these. Like, he's probably robbed stores. He's probably commit hate crimes. He's probably done drug and alcohol related things. He's definitely assaulted people. So Jon Jones could really just go in the all of the above tier or something like that. But yeah, he's most well known for, you know, his friendly sparring matches with his partners. They're nice and friendly. You know, he sets up the ring, gives them, you know, the mouth guard, gives them like a headgear, and just, you know, goes to town and just starts just throwing lefts and rights, mate. Equal lefts and equal rights. Like, he's just absolutely swinging them at home. When he gets back from a rough day of training, you know, he's just not too happy with how it's going. You know, maybe USADA came along and he was just a bit nervous, and he just takes it out at home. So Jon Jones, interesting fella, definitely committed a few crimes in his day. But we move on to the next fighter. Leon Edwards, going in robbery. Just because this guy, you know, he's talked about how he had a bit of a rough upbringing. He lived in, like, Birmingham. He lives in Birmingham and stuff like that. When he was, like, a teenager, I reckon he was getting up to no good. I reckon he was robbing stores, doing some gang-related activities, you know what I'm saying? That's just my guess. That's just what I'm going to assume happened. Not sure if it did or not, but it would shock me if Leon Edwards had never robbed a store. Probably, like, just getting caught by the cops outside with a bunch of mates when he was, like, 13, 14. That's my guess about what was going on with Leon Edwards in his childhood. But we're going to move on to the next fighter. The next fighter is Nick Diaz, slash the Diaz brothers. I didn't want to just chuck them both here, but they're both going to go in drug and alcohol-related crimes. Cocaine use, weed use. I know weed's not illegal in most parts now, but I reckon they've definitely got in trouble to do with some things like drug-related and stuff in their days. For sure, Nick Diaz, I think probably more so than Nate. Nate's probably just done some, like, he would probably go in the assault tier, to be honest, because we saw what he did to the Logan Paul lookalike guy. But yeah, Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, both of them heavy drug users, we all know. We saw, bro, did you see Nick Diaz the other day at the UFC event? That man looked like he had been, like, doing meth for, like, the last year of his life. He looked rough. So, tough for Nick Diaz, but yeah. We move on to the next fighter. Sergey Pavlov. You know, he's going to go in hate crimes because I just don't think this guy is a big fan of melanated individuals, you know, based. But Sergey Pavlov, you know, he reposted the meme where people, like, it's like the meme by the guy on Instagram. It's like one of the captions was like, Sergey Pavlov kills black people. And then in brackets, Derrick Lewis. And Pavlov, like, posted it on his Twitter and then acted like he didn't know what it meant. Like, bro, we all knew you know what that meant. Like, we all know that you are just KOing blokes outside fucking bars and shit. Like, Russia, man, swear over there, they're hella racist. So I reckon Pavlov just definitely, you know, laying some hands on those with darker complexions. But we move on to the next fighter. Jorge Masvidal is going in assault just because, you know, it's just happened. Like, it's already happened. He's already done the thing. So Masvidal definitely assaulting some people, sucker punches left and right. I don't think it's just Colby, to be honest. I think he's fucking probably done it to more than just him. He just seems like a person that, you know, does not like when people do anything, and he just gets agitated and then just punches him in the face. Like, he punched Leon a bunch of times backstage in England or whatever. So I think this guy's just laying the hands out left, right, and center, and yeah, he's just punching people for no reason apparently. But we move on to the next fighter. Dana White is gonna go in domestic abuse. I know he's not a fighter, but he's included in the list anyway, just because, you know, Dana, we know how much he loves the power slap, and I reckon he's getting around to a lot of power slapping in the Dana White residence as well, whether it be, you know, his wife or maybe his kids. I'm not sure. Maybe he's doing the Neil Magny, just the clinch fests and all that, you know, just holding him up against the fence. I'm not sure what's going on, but Dana White definitely, there's clearly motivation for the power slap. He's just obsessed with slapping people. So I reckon that's what he's getting up to, and that's just my prediction on the matter. Also suspect he would definitely, you know, be in the drug use or the drug and alcohol related thing as well, because you all know cocaine's not cheap. It's expensive. You got to make money. So I reckon Dana White, you know, doing a bit of sniffing here and there as well as some slapping. Sniffing and slapping, Dana White's two favourite things. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next person. Bobby Green, he's going to go in robbery just because, you know, he's black. I'm kidding. But Bobby Green, you know, he's a bit of a hoodlum, bit of a thug, as you would say. What am I even talking about right now? Bobby Green, he's robbed a few places here and there. Probably in there for drug use too, drug-related things too. But yeah, this guy, I reckon he's getting up to no good. Just the way he acts, the way he dresses, the way he looks, you know, his complexion. I would just suspect him of, you know, robbery here and there, just dabbling in some, you know, some breaking and entering. But we move on to the next fighter. I'm gonna get fucking taken off YouTube. Israel the dog bender Adesanya, you know, if there was a tier, I was gonna put him in, you know, like animal abuse or some shit like that, but there's probably not enough people to make that a whole tier, so I'm just going to chuck him in drug and alcohol related stuff, you know. He's a notorious DUI artist, notorious drunk driver. Adesanya is just absolutely hooning down suburban roads at 200 k's an hour under the influence of at least 30 fucking glasses of wine. So Adesanya, he's an absolute lunatic. He's a menace to society. He can't be trusted out in the public. So yeah, we need to lock him away for good. But also he touches his dog inappropriately. So I couldn't make that its own tier, but we all know that's going on. So we move on to the next fighter. Through the Klansman Dober. He's going in hate crimes, of course. How could he not be? We all know this guy's preference in opponents. There's a reason why he lost to Moicano, and it wasn't the takedown defense. If Moicano was black, he would have stuffed those takedowns with ease and KO'd him in the first round, but he's not, unfortunately. So we needed to see him fight Jalen Turner. Hopefully that fight can happen in the future. Maybe we see a Bobby Green rematch, you know. He wants to get that one settled. He wasn't happy with the outcome of the first fight. He said he didn't inflict enough damage. So that was Drew Dober's comments on that fight. He wants to run it back. But yeah, Dober, hate crimes for sure. Definitely not a big fan of the melanated individuals. And yeah, he's probably, you know, been caught up to date in some, you know, some clans meetings or something like that, you know, wearing the white hoodie. But apart from that, I'm not sure what else to say. We're going to move on to the next fighter. The notorious Conor McGregor. He's going to go in assault, you know. We know this guy's laying the hands on 70-year-olds at pubs in Ireland if they don't want to drink his proper 12. So, you know, I don't even know the guy. I just showed up and I punched him in the face. But he's a dumb motherfucker, yeah? Like, he's too slow and too stiff. I had to fucking snap him in half. So Conor McGregor, he's definitely, you know, just laying some hands out there, assaulting people, punching random Italian DJs and shit like that. I don't know what's going on with Conor, but obviously drug and alcohol, you could put him there too, but I think the more, like, that's just the day-to-day life of Conor McGregor, but I feel like the assaults are definitely something that exists too in his, you know, his hobbies. But we move on to the next fighter. Greg Hardy's going in domestic abuse, my bad. Yeah, he's just punching women is what it seems like. He's been arrested for it, so I see no reason to doubt the law, especially with a thug like Greg Hardy. We don't want his kind around here. I'm kidding, but he's a scumbag. So we move on to the next fighter. Khamzat Chimaev. He's going to go in robbery. I don't know. I just kind of figured this guy seems like he's commit crimes before, and I didn't want to make like a tier just for terrorism, because then I would have just put all the Dagestanis in there, and then everyone would have called me Islamophobic. So we're going to just avoid that landmine. But I do think Khamzat Chimaev has probably robbed a few places. I reckon like him and Darren Till were getting up to no good, just robbing some places, speeding down lanes and stuff, you know, doing burnouts and all that kind of shit. So Khamzat's getting up to no good. But yeah, also if I was going to make a tier just for like terrorism, which I was considering, I was going to do that, and then I was like, nah, because I'm only going to put I'm going to only put Muslim fighters in there, so then everyone's going to say I'm Islamophobic. But anyway, I should have done that just to piss people off. But we move on to the next fighter. Tony Ferguson, T-Fergs, going in drug and alcohol related. Probably could have chucked him in domestic abuse too if you wanted to. I'm sure there's some holy water flying around in the Ferguson household. But yeah, apart from that, I don't know. Just seems like a guy to just drink and drive. That's what he's doing. So yeah, T-Ferg, tough for him, but that's how it is. He's got schizophrenia probably. He just needs to get the holy water and just splash it on his family. You know, he's blessing them. But we move on to another fighter. Shavkat Rakhmonov is going in hate crimes, of course, as well. You know, again, look how brutally he dismantled and dominated and choked out Jeff Neal with the, like, you know, the police, the bulldog choke kind of thing, like how to just detain a criminal like Mr. Jeff Neal. So I reckon something just tells me, like, any time if like an outsider comes in and they see like a random black person in Kazakhstan for whatever reason, you know, he's the first one to deal with them. That's just my prediction. But we move on to the next fighter. Yoel Romero's going in assault, you know. Probably could have gone one step further. I do think he's probably, you know, killed someone. But you know, Yoel, he's a very interesting guy. You know, when the interviewer asked him, it's like, what's the thing that you regret most? It's like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Like, he's definitely fucking killed someone. So Yoel is going in assault just because I'm not going to make our own tier just for murder, you know, even though he's probably done so. But regardless, Yoel, you know, see you soon. Bye. We move on to the next fighter. Curtis Blades is going in robbery, of course. You already know the tune and the theme of the video. I just predict that based on physical and visual attributes, you know, he's just going to go in that tier. I just would be shocked if Curtis Blades had never committed a crime in his life. And if I was going to pick one, I would have to go with robbery for Mr. Blades. But we move on to the next fighter. Jared Gordon's going in drug and alcohol related things because, you know, he was literally telling everyone after his last win how he used to shoot heroin under Penn Station. So that's just how it is with Mr. Gordon. He's just injecting at all times, and I reckon he's probably been done for it a couple times and, you know, spent some nights in prison. So that's my prediction for Jared Gordon, but we move on to the next fighter. Based Charles Radkey. He's going in hate crimes, of course. Same with Manel Cap. I reckon those two are just together waiting outside any corner, and just as soon as they see someone with, like, blue hair or some shit, they're just laying the fucking overhand on him. That's just my prediction for Mr. Radkey and Manel Cap. I think they would get along. I think there was like some coordination backstage over like there was like a bet of like who could get the bigger reaction out of the crowd via calling them homophobic slurs. So that's just my opinion on the matter, but we move on to the next fighter. Kushen Asov, he's going in assault. You guys might not know who this guy is, but he's a fucking terrible human being, I'll be honest. He got arrested and charged for like, I swear, I forget what the exact charges were, but it was like assault, breaking and entering, torturing someone, extortion. Like, him and his brother tied someone up and like tortured them. Like, nuts. Like, actually crazy from Kushen Asov. He got his fight because it happened like a few weeks later. He's had a fight booked and then the fight obviously got cancelled, but I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing this guy back in the octagon. I don't think he'll ever be fighting in America again, just because something tells me that's just not going to work out. So if we see him again, it'll probably be in like Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi, you know, just where all those people belong. But we move on to the next fighter. Jeff Neal, you know, what were we going to go with Jeff Neal? I'm going to put him in robbery just because I actually read his arrest charge. It was something like intoxication and driving and shit. So obviously you could put him in drug and alcohol related problems or related issues, whatever. But, you know, just because it's Jeff Neal and just because he looks the way he does, I'm going to put him in robbery because I do predict that he has, you know, robbed a few stores here and there. Him and Bobby Green and like probably like Kevin Holland. I don't have him in this video, but I reckon them three, that trio is just, you know, going around the streets of Detroit, just looting places. Like, what am I saying? We move on to the next fighter. Tai Tuivasa's going in drug and alcohol related. This guy's definitely been arrested for drink driving. Like, I would literally bet a large sum of money on that he has definitely been pulled over and arrested or like blown the legal limit for blood alcohol content. Definitely done so. Probably done like some weed things here and there as well. Nothing major, you know, we like Ty, he's a cool guy, but yeah, definitely he's probably like just been sitting at like a red light and just the cops coming up behind him and he's just like sipping a beer, like as the cops just walking up to past his car. Like, he just does not care. That's just what I think with Tai Tuivasa, what's going on. But we move on to the next fighter. Alex Pereira is going in assault just because I feel like this guy has just KO'd someone, like unconscious, just for like looking at him the wrong way. So that's just my prediction with Pereira. Not much to say about the man, but I just assume that's what's happened. We move on though to the next fighter. Anthony Pigheart Smith. He's going to go in drug and alcohol related, just because he's actually talked about it. I think he said he's like he's had like a bunch of DUI charges and stuff. He said that's why he was like, he defended Adesanya, because he's like, bro, I've had a bunch of DUI charges, it's not that bad. Like, he's just casually saying like, yeah, I drink drive all the time. So Anthony Smith, he's gonna go in like drink driving kind of tier area. But we move on to the next fighter. Magny, you already know he's going in domestic abuse, because we know this man is just laying the knees in the clinch on his 3-year-old son. That's just what's going on. We know it's a fact. You can't deny it. Neil Magny, Ian Gary is obviously correct. You brutally beat up your son in the clinch for 15 minutes, throwing 3 knees around to the legs and body. So Neil Magny, brutal stuff, terrible human being. He should be in jail. But we move on to the next person. Final tier, the top tier, you guys already know who it is. You were caught with 5 passports in your possession. You turned informant on the people you were working with. It begs belief, to be honest. Ali Abdelaziz, you mad terrorist snitch. Ali, I know that about you as well, you mad rat. You keep your mouth shut, kid. Let me take my picture. How's Noah? Huh? Yeah, shut your mouth. Never speak about me ever in your life, because you'll be out here quick. Ali Abdelaziz is a mad burns victim, and he's going to go in the top tier because he was caught with 5 passports in his possession. You know, he was pulled off a flight going from Cairo, Egypt to New York City on September 11, 2001. He was caught with 5 passports in his possession. Like, Conor McGregor told us all what we needed to know. Ali Abdelaziz was working with the US government as like an informant or something like that, and then he turned informant on the people he was working with. Then he like switched up and he went back and something, and then he got like discharged or arrested or some shit like that. I don't know the details, but you know, just some dodgy things going on with Mr. Abdelaziz. But yeah, he's conclusively the biggest scumbag on this list. Of course, you could brutally beat up your partner, but it does not come close to just Ali Abdelaziz existing as a person. Because, you know, if you're existing on the earth with that fucking forehead, then it's just rough and you should be in jail for that alone. But Ali Abdelaziz, you know, it is tough. But that is the video done, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I thought this was a pretty funny video to make. Hopefully, Jamal Hill doesn't respond to every single one of you guys in the comments and question and debate you about his pound-for-pound legacy because I said that he abuses people domestically. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and hopefully I don't get, you know, any lawsuit charges over defamation. Hopefully we don't get any of that. But I'll see you guys in the next video soon. I'll do like predictions. I'll do a few other tier lists and shit. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody. See ya.